Hey guys, I was just gonna go to sleep already, but of course, every time before I go to sleep, I always tend to just relax on my chair, where I just usually lie down before I go to bed. But then, as soon as I got this video, it was actually a video that just popped out, and I didn't even know it was just coming from nowhere. And the title, I didn't see a name, MAGNO, on the description or on the title, but it was referring to bipolar disorder. But I could see it was Jam's face. I mean, the Jam's face, the real Jam's face, that it's totally far away from what we see on TikTok, okay? But I was really very disturbed, as a matter of fact. Unlike the rest of the days, or unlike yesterday or the other day, as soon as I started taking a closer attention to her, because I didn't like the idea that she was actually ranting on the social media, and most especially she was disrespecting, or she was discrediting our Miss Philippines Universe beauty queen, none other than RABIYA Mateo, okay, or Mateo. So and that's where I felt that it was the right time for me to fill myself in, because I thought I could be good help for everyone, especially those who are supporting RABIYA Mateo. And the fact that we know that she cannot just come out there and then and in order to defend herself, and being a beauty queen, of course, it's not proper for her to just go out there and also rant her back. So I was very glad that she didn't do that. So on the other hand, of course, because I was already feeling uncomfortable with those issues that's been all over the social media, so I thought that I really needed to do something about it in order to defend, or to be someone who will become a person who will act on her defense in order to make this issue much clearer, okay? Pero right now that I've already found about this issue, about her being a person who's got a personality or some mental health issues, okay? Especially this is a bipolar disorder, meaning to say there's a tendency that sometimes, like, she would feel like she is very down, or sometimes like her mood is very low, and then there are also times that her mood becomes very high, or very hyper, or sometimes very angry or whatever. So it's just like a defense mechanism. She would put herself into the opposite instead of harming herself or do some certain things that could actually break her apart. Well, it is really nice to know that she's gone through some doctors, for example, just like this person. I'm sure that you can find out later, because I just found it, on YouTube. So if you wanna go through and you wanna find out who this doctor is, all you have to do is just search bipolar and then MAGNO, and then it just pops out, okay? So this video was actually uploaded 7 months ago, but according to her, the first time that she went to a doctor, especially this doctor, that was already like December 2017. So it's been a long time, as a matter of fact. Well, what's scary on this part, when I found it like that, is that there's a tendency that this girl can actually kill herself. And according to MAGNO, she said on that video that before she went for a medical attention, or before she went to a psychiatrist or somebody who's in charge, or a doctor who are actually in charge of these kinds of sicknesses, or psychotherapy, or sometimes like there are all sometimes considered as psychologists or whatever. So she already said that she almost took her life, meaning she almost committed suicide. Okay, so that's very, very dangerous for somebody who could actually think like that. So I am glad that she went to a doctor, a certain doctor, but I'm not really sure what happened, because as we can see, obviously she wasn't healed. Okay, and as I was looking at some videos about this kind of sickness, it seems like this is a sickness that there is no cure. It can be treated sometimes, for a period of time, but then it comes back, and then it's just like a yo-yo, that it goes up and down, and it goes up and down, but it will never change. The only thing that it would change is if we around her could help her, instead of giving her some harm, or some hurtful words that can actually trigger her to kill herself. It's much better that we could give her kindness and support. We just have to make sure that we could understand exactly that this person is sick. Okay, sabihin na natin in Tagalog or whatever, sinasabi nila na this person is may SAYAD o kaya baliw o whatever, pero using those words are actually words na parang sobrang exaggerated naman, kasi if you use those words instead of helping this type of person na may sakit na ganon, mas makaka-trigger pa sa feeling nila na they are being treated differently. So, kailangan tratuhin pa rin natin siya with kindness at this time. Kailangan tanggalin natin ang galit. Ipagpalagay na lang natin na we are dealing with a certain family member, okay? Huwag na nating isipin na ito yung tao na she was ranting, she was giving hatreds or whatever, she was giving all these issues na talagang nakaka-trigger para talagang magalit tayo, 'di ba? Yung nakaka-hurt talaga yung ginagawa niya, especially those people na talagang nabiktima sa kanyang pagrarant, okay, nabiktima sa kanyang pagiging ganun. But right now that we already found out, yun na lang po ang isipin natin. Okay? Isipin na lang natin that we are having this kind of person na merong sakit. So now, the only way is, kailangan isipin na lang natin na katulad ng isang tao na merong diferensya sa utak. How would you treat that person? Pag alam mo na nga na yung tao na yun ay meron talaga siyang diferensya, or she's got some behaviors na talagang sometimes na makikita na talaga natin na talagang abnormal, o kaya this is not right anymore, or this is no longer something that can actually help you or whatever. Pero knowing about her problem and knowing about her sickness, at least makakatulong sa atin para you can understand or we can understand. Okay? Kasi right now, instead of me ranting against her, I felt na parang naawa ako. I felt I need to do something about this girl, So, instead sana na I would treat her like a kalaban, or instead sana that I would treat her like an enemy, or a person na katulad ng dati, like what I have felt during the past few days. Right now, I really want, if possible, I really want to give her a hug, just to make her sure that hindi siya nag-iisa. Sometimes like, they need that kind of treatment, Kasi, I am sure that she had a lot of problems in the past. We don't know kung anong pinagdaanan niya. Saka na lang kasi natin malalaman kung nandun tayo sa mga pinagdaanan niya. If we were there on her shoes in order to experience what she has gone through, all those things, siguro maintindihan natin. Kaya, para matapos na ang issue na to, okay? And of course, to Miss RABIYA Mateo, I am sure that knowing about this right now, I'm sure that can actually put her to a different understanding now. So, magkakaroon na siya ng peace of mind, okay? And I am sure din na lahat ng mga vloggers din, kung ganito na yung magiging... para may open na yung mga minds ng tao, instead sana na hatred na ibibigay natin, all we have to do is just kindness, okay? Kasi baka mamaya, katulad ng sinasabi nila na, may vlogger na ganito kasi according to Rudy Baldwin, and then somebody's gonna kill herself or himself, whatever, mangyayari whatever. So we were thinking, who is this person's gonna be? I mean, sino, di ba? Kasi wala naman tayong alam na a certain vlogger or whatever, or anybody else na talagang popular or whatever. So, sana hindi naman ganon, di ba? Sana hindi naman magkatotoo kung ano yung mga nagiging hinala o kaya nagiging prediction, katulad ng mga nandiyan na napapakinggan natin. Okay, I hope not. I hope there's gonna be totally a truth na talagang hindi totoong mangyayari yon. It was just a prediction. Sometimes like there is a prediction na nangyayari, and sometimes there's also a prediction na talagang hindi nangyayari. So sana naman isa doon sa mga hindi mangyayari, 'di ba? Kasi baka mamaya, 'di ba, ang sakit isipin na because of that prediction, and then all of a sudden may nangyaring hindi natin inaasahan. And I just hope that Jam can actually open her eyes also, na kung ano man yung mga nakakaabala sa kanya, if she wasn't able to understand correctly kung ano yung mga pangyayari, katulad nun yung issue na kung bakit ganun ang nagiging decision o nagiging answer ni RABIYA Mateo during that last interview about that issue regarding yung kung ano yung sinabi na President Duterte na if possible hindi pwedeng yung anak niya ang mamumuno because he knows in his heart na it's totally different talaga ang magiging emotional feeling ng isang babae compared to a man, which is really true naman. But that doesn't mean na wala nang karapatan talaga ang babae. So all that RABIYA Mateo was trying to explain on her answer was about the equality of men and women. It wasn't even an issue about national, or political views. That wasn't even an issue regarding that matter. It was just mainly an issue that a certain question was given to her, and as she believes that there's also an equality of men and women, especially those people in the politics, okay? And most especially to somebody who would like to be a part of our country, and of course with the highest position being the president. So, hindi naman nangangahulugan na if she really wanted to say that answer, and then she was actually doing something against the president or doing something against the government. it was just plainly a question. She wanted to give an answer. Parang, I mean, it could have been one of those questions na nai-question din doon sa pageant na yon, di ba? And it just so happened that it was a question during an interview that happened in hindi ko alam kung anong klaseng venue yon. It was on a radio or whatever. I'm not even sure what was that. But the thing here is, I just wanted to make her feel na hindi talaga intention na talagang gusto niya talagang i-disrespect o kaya batikusin ng president, and most especially sa ating government. Yun ang gusto kong malaman niya. Kasi sometimes a certain person na iba yung kanyang pananaw, iba yung kanyang paniniwala, or iba yung kanyang pag-receive kung ano yung ano na yun, kung ano yung issue na yun. Sometimes like she just comes out with a certain feeling na hindi naman talaga dapat siya ma-hurt or whatever, o magkaroon ng ibang klaseng feeling, pero iba lang siguro yung way of her understanding at that point, or her way of thinking at that point. So gusto kong ipamahagi yon para at least ma-erase na yon sa kanyang pag-iisip na Rabiya actually wanted to really hurt or wanted to really disrespect our president. Well, like Sara Duterte, for example, I mean, she could have been that person who has been asked the same kind of question, and then of course, I am sure that she would exactly answer the same kind of what Rabiya Mateo had said, during the interview, diba? So, I mean, iba-iba kasi I am sure that a lot of women, most especially, would answer the same kind of answer as well as Rabiya Mateo did. And of course, for men as well, because once they are men, of course, they would prefer to have their own gender, to lead the country, unless that they are really the person who are really very strong, with their belief that a certain male or a certain like Duterte or a certain man would lead the country. So iba-iba tayo ng pananaw kasi di ba? So sana mawala yon sa paniniwala ni Jam na talagang Rabiya was really trying to manipulate or kaya intimidate o kaya disrespect our president. So sana maiklaro yon. And of course, yung pagkakaroon niya ng statement also that she is not DDS. Di ba? She's not DDS but she is pro-Philippines. And I have already explained to you guys na bakit kung sinasabi niya na pro-Philippines, so bakit mas gusto niya ng ibang bansa yung mananalo. So now I came to realize na okay, now the answer is because she's got a problem mentally, okay? And of course, yun pa yung about the fashion sense, there was a time that she really mentioned about, her style of fashion or whatever, kung ano yung fashion sense na pinili ni Rabiya regarding kung bakit daw ganun na she had a problem about the color, blue and red or whatever. Now, she has to realize that because what she was trying to present was a costume that was actually inspired by our Philippine national flag. So ano ba ang kulay ng ating Philippine national flag? Obviously, red, blue, and of course, yun, nabanggit pa niya na bakit may gold pa ganun. Of course, dahil yung sun, it represents the gold. So, siguro hindi lang klaro sa kanya. Lahat ng mga yan bumabagabag sa kanya. So, she really went out with her emotions. And for her, she felt better if she really had to let it all hang loose, It didn't matter if somebody would feel hurt, or it didn't matter if it hurt or it harmed anybody else's feelings, most especially to Rabiya, or of course the supporters of Rabiya, di ba? Hindi natin alam talaga kung ano yung intention niya at that time, kung why she was doing those, bakit she was giving all this maltreatment or this judgment na hindi naman talaga dapat na ibigay sa isang tao, especially that person really didn't deserve to have that kind of treatment. Most especially for her, she was really doing everything, her best, in order to show us na talagang she was actually doing her obligations being the Miss Philippines Universe. Diba? Kaya nga siya umiiyak, and then I felt really bad by the time that I saw her video. She was really crying, and she said that yan, nagkaroon pa siya ng ano ano ba yun, siguro sa sapatos niya, dumudugo na nga yung kanyang paa at that time or whatever. Her feet was really hurting or whatever, and then kaya at that time nahulog pa yung kanyang crown, and that would really represent kung ano yung sun as a part of her Philippine national flag inspired costume. Pero hindi naman talaga flag yun, di ba? We know how our Philippine national flag looks like. So obviously, hindi rin pwede nating sabihin na talagang nag-violate siya. The fact na hindi daw pwedeng i-disregard o kaya hindi daw pwedeng i-disrespect ang ating Philippine national flag. Kaya hindi daw pwede dapat na iyon ang ginamit niya. So, I mean, I'm just trying to explain na hindi siya nag-violate, just the fact that it was a Philippine national flag inspired costume, and that's what they did. At saka isa pa, it wasn't even her own decision in order to have that kind of costume, kasi it was somebody else's. 'Di ba? Kasi meron tayong mga wardrobe in charge, kung sino yung mag-i-in-charge ng mga wardrobe or whatever. I am very sure that you know, all this were really planned, I mean carefully, before they even let her use something like that. Talagang pinag-isipan lahat, pinagplanuhan or whatever, na I am sure na lahat ng mga yun ay talagang pinagbubuhuton nila, and then of course it's been approved by other people also, hindi lang sa kanya. So yun, siguro kailangan talaga yung malaman, ma-explain talaga sa kanya. Now, I am sure that if we have known earlier about this matter, I am sure that we could have treated this issue totally in a different way. Kasi alam ko naman na pag mas naaga, mas nalaman pa natin kung ano yung nagiging consequences or whatever. But right now, it's not too late yet, okay? It's not too late for us to understand kung ano man yung dapat nating gawin, if how we would treat her, if how we could at least give some help or whatever. Sometimes like a person na she feels like she's very lonely, or she feels like she's alone, and then that's the reason why she gets very, very disappointed. Like sometimes, like she would feel like she doesn't have any right there in order to love her, or at least somebody who would make her feel love. And the fact that she's got her own child as well. I'm not really sure how old is this kid right now, but I think it's much better really that we just have to leave her alone, okay? But if she really needs to come out and in the open, and of course I am sure that, you know, it would be much better also if she tries to explain, or at least, you know, at least to, if she would feel that it's better for her to come out and at least say some sorry or ask for an apology to those people that she has hurt, most especially to RABIYA, okay? But if she doesn't have that kind of decision, well, I mean, that's her own decision. We cannot just force somebody to go out there and ask for, especially for a person who's got a mental disorder like that. Okay? We just have to understand. Kailangan, kung meron tayong pang-unawa, mas ibuhos pa natin, mas dagdagan pa natin. Kasi after all, lahat naman ng mga ito ay talagang nangyari because it was the decision of that, you know, that divine power right there, yung tinatawag nating Diyos, and which I believe that He lives in us because God is a spirit, and of course, you know, spirit resides or lives in us, okay? We are just His temple. We were just bodies that spirit is actually residing in. Okay, so we have to acknowledge that. So guys, the best thing to do is to give love and understanding for Jam Magno. Peace.